Long before Europeans arrived, Native American civilizations were already thriving across North America. Indigenous peoples migrated to the Americas from Asia over 15,000 years ago via the Bering Land Bridge. Hundreds of tribes developed their own unique cultures, languages, and systems of governance. Major Native American groups included the Iroquois, Cherokee, Apache, Sioux, and Pueblo tribes. These societies practiced farming, hunting, trade, and spiritual traditions, with large trade networks connecting tribes across the continent. In 1492, Christopher Columbus reached the Americas, beginning European exploration and colonization. European powers including Spain, France, England, and the Netherlands competed to control land and resources in the New World. Spain settled Florida and the Southwest, France colonized Canada and the Mississippi region, and England established colonies along the Atlantic coast. The colonies expanded through farming, trade, and slavery, as African slaves were forcibly brought to work on plantations. By the early 1700s, political and economic tensions increased between Britain and the American colonies. Britain imposed heavy taxes on the colonies without giving them representation in Parliament. British laws controlled colonial trade and restricted westward expansion, angering settlers. Ideas of liberty, natural rights, and self-government spread among colonists through books and speeches. Major events like the Boston Massacre, Boston Tea Party, and the Intolerable Acts pushed colonists toward demanding independence. Fighting between the American colonies and Britain began in 1775, marking the start of the American Revolution. On July 4, 1776, the Declaration of Independence was issued, announcing the colony's break from British rule. The Declaration, written mainly by Thomas Jefferson, emphasized freedom, rights, and self-governance. George Washington led the colonial army, while France provided crucial military and financial support. Britain was defeated in 1783, leading to the birth of the United States as an independent nation. In 1787, the United States adopted the Constitution to create a strong and stable national government. The Constitution established a democratic republic with three branches: executive, legislative, and judicial. The Bill of Rights was added to protect individual freedoms such as speech, religion, and fair trials. George Washington became the first president, setting important traditions for the new nation. During this period, America expanded westward and began forming its political and national identity. The belief in manifest destiny pushed Americans to expand westward across the continent. Slavery expanded in the southern states, while the northern states became more industrial and urban. The American Civil War was the deadliest war in U.S. history, lasting from 1861 to 1865. The war was fought between the northern states, the Union, and the southern states. The main cause of the conflict was slavery and disagreements over states' rights. President Abraham Lincoln led the Union during the war. The war ended with slavery abolished, the Union preserved, and more than 600,000 people killed, leaving the nation united but deeply scarred. After the Civil War, formerly enslaved African Americans gained freedom, but many continued to face discrimination and segregation. The Reconstruction era attempted to rebuild the South and integrate freed slaves into American society. Railroads expanded across the country, connecting cities and fueling economic growth. Factories and industries grew rapidly, turning the United States into a major industrial power. Millions of immigrants arrived from Europe, helping build the economy, while inequality and racial injustice still remained widespread. The United States joined World War I in 1917 and helped the Allied forces defeat Germany, increasing America's global influence. After the war, the U.S. became a major economic power, supplying goods, loans, and industrial strength to the world. The stock market crash of 1929 caused widespread unemployment, poverty, and economic collapse across the country. President Franklin D. Roosevelt introduced the New Deal to create jobs, support the poor, and stabilize the U.S. economy. After Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, the U.S. entered World War II, defeated the Axis powers, dropped atomic bombs on Japan in 1945. Both countries built massive nuclear arsenals, creating a dangerous nuclear arms race that threatened global destruction. The Cold War expanded into space with the space race, leading to major achievements like the U.S. moon landing in 1969. Instead of fighting directly, the superpowers engaged in proxy wars in countries such as Korea and Vietnam. Major events like the Civil Rights Movement, the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, and the collapse of the Soviet Union ended the Cold War with U.S. global dominance. After the Cold War, the United States emerged as the world's leading military and economic power, influencing global politics and security. Rapid growth in the internet, smartphones, artificial intelligence, and social media transformed American society and the global economy. America faced growing political division, debates over democracy, immigration, and social justice. Climate change, global competition, and economic inequality became major challenges shaping modern American policy and future direction.